Hello, I'm Kev.
And I'm Steve.
And we're from the internet for another hour or so. And then the internet is closed forever. I think that's how it works, isn't it?
I think we'll still be from the internet.
Yeah, the internet will still be our roots. Just full disclosure at the start of the episode, I know we have a habit of joking at the start of the episode that it's going to be our last episode. This one probably is going to be, it's going to be the last regular episode anyway. We're obviously going to keep the website and keep the feed existing, but we've run out of things to talk about on this show. I think we've actually talked about every topic the internet has to offer. If we carry on trying to do weekly episodes on different topics, we're going to have to do cat videos next week or something. And there are certain parts of the internet that we don't need to cover. We don't need to do cat videos. We don't need to do porn. But we are going
enough of that.
Yeah, we are going into porn. That's going to be our next step. But we've kind of run out of things. So we're going to give We're From the Internet a bit of a rest for a little while.
We always say that, and then they're just dead forever, and we start.
Well, they're not necessarily dead forever. Best Thing From came back like 3 years after it went on a rest, and it's still bubbling. We've potentially got a Best Thing From project at some point in the next year or so. So that's not completely dead. And I really like the name We're From the Internet. So we're certainly going to keep the website and keep the
indie
iTunes
publishing
feed.
Adventure that died on its website.
That's because that was
people like that who were into writing.
We got less listeners on that than we've ever had on anything before.
Yeah,
ever.
You're right.
And unfortunately, this show seems to be going the same way, which is, I mean, it's partly our fault, mainly our fault.
It's completely our fault. Who else's fault could it be?
The swines who stopped listening. Obviously, it's never a good idea. Here's a tip for anyone looking to get into any kind of internet media. Don't disappear for a month without telling anyone it's going to happen, because when you come back, everyone's moved on to something else.
And then don't tell them that one of the co-hosts is dead, and then don't start the next show saying it's all finished and we're not doing anymore. Because that really, really, really kills it. And then doing a follow-up episode saying it's definitely over.
Each of those gags only lost about a quarter of the listeners. So, you know, that's only half the listeners gone as a direct result of me.
Well,
the half who disappeared before that over the previous few months.
Not trying to be too kind to you, but I did have time off for illness and stuff, so it's not all on you just telling everyone it was over. I did kind of not show. But, no, we've had a lot of talk about just this whole let's do a podcast and talk about stuff that isn't really focused or changes topic every week doesn't really work anymore, unless you were one of the handful of people that did it 10 years ago. Yeah. We're just kind of rolling around.
The problem is, back when we first started doing random stuff many years ago, I mean, it was the first thing we ever did, really.
Yeah.
We're going back 6 years ago now. There were about 9 podcasts to choose from. So you had to listen to all of them because there wasn't that much choice. I reckon when we first started podcasting, you could have conceivably, over the course of a week, listened to every new episode on iTunes that week from anyone. So we got a few listens, but now, unless you're really targeted into a little niche that people are going out there and looking for.
Talentless is the niche.
Whatever it might be, people aren't going to find you. And I think that's the problem we've got with this show, because the topic veers around all over the place from week to week. Nobody's looking for us. So now we're not front and centre on iTunes anymore. No, because no one's looking for us, no one's finding us. We're not making it easy for us to find. We're inconsistent release schedule, and the fact that the show's not really about anything. I mean, they always say with all these little projects that we do, what's your elevator pitch? And what on earth is our elevator pitch for We're From the Internet? Because
when it was an episode a day and we were trying to be the 10-minute wake-up episode, you know,
that was bloody hard work. Getting up at 3 a.m. for 3 months straight killed me.
You didn't need to do that. I stayed in bed.
Yeah, well, someone had to put the episodes on the internet and talk to the pre-recorded sheepdog message. You'd phone your message in the night before, put a cassette through my door before bed every night with your responses to questions that you'd scripted for me. And then I had to sit there for about 4 hours trying to make it sound like a natural back and forth conversation.
And trying to read my handwriting and cutting out all the slurs and stuff.
Yeah, it was bloody hard work for me. It was all right for you. You just had to talk into your cassette player for 20 minutes every evening.
Talk boy.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I got it when Home Alone 2 was out in the 90s.
Is that really a thing?
Yeah, you hold it in your hand, you press record, you can slow your voice down, speed
Are they
it
not
up.
just is that a dictaphone?
No, it's a talk boy, because it speeds up and slows down. And
I think you can fast forward and rewind on a dictaphone.
No, but I mean, it makes you talk really like...
I think there are ways to do that without a piece of technology.
But this one does it for you.
I've never seen Home Alone 2.
You should watch it. You should watch them both, and then stop. There's
2 Home Alone 2s.
There's Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2.
So I need to watch those?
Yes.
Is there
2's better than 1.
Is there a Home Alone 3?
They stopped having Macaulay Culkin in them after.
That's no bad thing. I don't like Macaulay Culkin.
He was good in these. This is before...
Is there a Home Alone 4?
I think there's like 8 now.
Shall we write Home Alone 9?
We could probably get away with it.
Is that interesting? That might be our next project then. Shall we write Home Alone 9? Basically, they from what I've heard, they just follow the same sort of pattern anyway. You just have to write in smarmy little comments from a smeggy little teenager.
If we're writing Home Alone 9, can we write Land Before Time 27?
Yeah. Surely, once you've got... Is there really that many Land Before Time?
There's at least
now?
18, I think.
Well, surely time happened at some point and all that. Surely, once you've done the first movie, time exists now, because, well, we made a movie. So the second one is now time. It's not the Land Before Time anymore. And then you took the second one as time, and then from then on, it's the land after time.
I think the land exists before time did.
Yeah, but once you've documented it, time probably exists. I bet if I go on IMDb now, I can find out when Land Before Time was released. Let's have a look. Land
I'm going to say
Before Time.
7.
So The Land Before Time came out in 1988. So Time started in 1988. And every movie that came out after 1988 is The Land After Time. Unless this is some kind of historical documentary. What are you... Steven Spielberg and George Lucas were involved in this.
Yeah, that's why it's such an epic film.
But George Lucas was involved in it.
Yeah, but this is before he went... I don't know whether he got a bump on the head or what, but now you understand why there's 27 of them, because George Lucas is involved in it.
What did he do? He's not on the produced by or directed by or written by or story by list.
He probably came up with the numbers.
Yeah, he was involved somehow. There you go. Lucasfilm were uncredited as the production company. So what it sounds like is they filmed it in George Lucas's garden. Does he live in a garden full of dinosaurs?
Maybe he does. Shark.
So
maybe
hang
he came
on.
up with the names like
Steven
Shark
Spielberg, he's Jurassic Park man, isn't he?
Yep.
So he built Jurassic Park in George Lucas's garden.
Maybe.
And then they filmed this movie as a practice before they did Jurassic Park.
What have the Kennedy family got to do with it, though? Weren't they the leaders of the United States?
Yeah. All right.
And Frank Marshall. Do you think he's Marshall Mathers?
Is this a cartoon?
Yeah. Have you not seen it?
Probably have. God. It only cost $12.5 million to make, and they made $84 million. Why aren't we making dinosaur cartoons?
Well, I keep saying it. If you look on YouTube at the moment, there's a massive gap in the market for dinosaur videos.
Can you draw dinosaur cartoons?
I'm sure we could figure it out.
Hold on, let's go on YouTube. Dinosaur.
If you look for the dinosaur song, there's only one.
Do we want dinosaur cartoons for children? Dinosaur cartoons for kids? Dinosaur cartoons for toddlers? It looks like there's a gap for dinosaur cartoons for adults. Let's have a look at that. And that is Halloween makeup tips. And no, these are just dinosaur cartoons for kids.
Well, no adult's going to search for them. But yeah, if you look for dinosaur song, there's only like one.
I'm a dinosaur. There's loads of dinosaur cartoons.
Yeah, but none of them are really good.
I'm a Dinosaur seems quite popular.
They've all got like nearly 1 million hits, or 500,000 hits, or 250,000 hits.
Well, why don't we make a dinosaur?
They're like 21 million hits.
That's just a box of dinosaur toys. And that's had 21 million views. What's in the box? Jurassic Park toys. It's just a box full of Jurassic Park action figures. It says it's a very big box with a lot of toys. They've had 21 million views on YouTube for looking for... I've got boxes of crap. Look, we've got... Over there is the box of every piece of recording equipment we've ever owned. We don't use any of it now. But we could do what's in the box, loads of mixers and microphones that we've broken.
Right, in case the listeners are wondering what the hell we're doing... we're
doing what's in the box.
Yeah, we've been talking about looking in YouTube and seeing if there's anything we can actually do there that would be a bit better, because iTunes seems to be a bit of a graveyard now.
Kids don't know what it is. Well, they're aware of what iTunes is, but they don't know what a podcast is. I talk about it with students sometimes and say I do a podcast, and their instinct, they want to know where they can find it on YouTube. That seems to be what the understanding of what a podcast is now. It's expected it's video and it's supposed to be on YouTube. And I think that's what we found with the last few podcasts we've launched, it's a lot harder now than it used to be because, I don't know, there's so much more choice. A couple of Herberts sat in a dining room struggle to make themselves found. We need a time machine. We need to go to George Lucas's garden, go to the Land Before Time, which is George Lucas's garden, do a podcast from there. If we were to bring out our first episode in 1988, I reckon we'd dominate iTunes now.
Maybe.
We could go back and invent iTunes.
Somebody I used to teach made about £1,000 off of YouTube just doing a how to make a craft table in Minecraft video.
How to make a craft table in Minecraft.
It's the first thing you can make.
The perfect pumpkin pie is the first one.
See, I don't know what his username was because it was a few years back, but if you look on there...
How is there a 27-minute video on how to make a crafting table? It's the first thing you get. That's at 164,000 views.
The one above it.
And that was only 11 months ago.
The one above it has had 200,000 views in 2 years.
Should we do one of them? Should we do Minecraft videos? Should we be the Yogscast?
Well, I think we're a bit behind on that. We kind of need to come up with a new thing.
Well, let's make a game and then make a load of YouTube videos on it. Should we do a Minecraft
I think we've
channel?
established even the very fact we're looking at YouTube in 2015 means we're always behind the curve. We got into the...
Hang on, YouTube's only been out 10 years. When we got on iTunes, that had been out about 10 years. We get in at the right time.
We got onto the Create Space Kindle book rush just after that.
About 10 years after it started. What is there that started about 7 or 8 years ago that we can get involved in? Twitter. We're on there 7 or 8 years after it launched. When that hits the big top, I'm doing it right. I'm a hero on Twitter. I just spam people with stuff they don't want to read 20 times a day.
Yeah, I've seen all your adverts.
That's how you do Twitter.
But
ridiculously, I've gained about 50 or 60 Twitter followers this week, and I'm just spamming crap constantly. I don't understand. I assume there must be 50 people who've unsubscribed or whatever it's called, unfollowed, and another 150 people who followed me to actually make that work.
The big trend I've noticed on Twitter this past sort of 6 months is there's this group of Twitter accounts that I follow, and they're all kind of intertwined and friends with one another, but they all just tweet terrible jokes, and the odd one is hilarious and then gets shared like 600 or 700 times, and they all get follows out of it, and they all just basically copyright their own jokes, and if anyone steals their gag, then they hunt around Twitter telling people off for stealing
What's the point? What do they get out of that?
Followers.
Right.
And then I guess
I could buy followers. Look at...
Yeah, but these are proper followers. These aren't your usual
go look at Kevin Steve.
Yeah.
And that's proof that you can go out there and buy followers. We've still got 5,257 followers on our Twitter account. And
yeah, but if you look
none
on
of
the
them are
feed
real.
of that, it's horrific.
Yeah.
Whereas the joke ones, everyone who likes them is...
But none of these are real. None of these followers that we've got. Never heard of any of them. They're actually all people I'm aware of.
I've heard of every single one of them.
That's quite. Have we got an audience of 5,000 people who know who we are, and we're wondering how we can get exposure for our podcast? Do we tweet when podcast episodes are out? Let's have a look. We probably don't. That might be where we're going wrong. So there's lots.
You tweet when your flaming Football Manager videos come out.
There's lots of stuff about that. You can win a copy of Football Manager. Did you know?
Oh God, Kev! The last 100 tweets are you advertising your nonsense.
Yeah. Look at that. That's quite impressive. Oh, there was one of Sheepdog's. Oh, no, it just says Sheepdog. Sheepdog has person. We haven't actually told Twitter that our last week's episode is out. It's not on there anywhere. We're going to be live on the internet for 24 hours. Yeah, it's not on there.
That might be why everything's going wrong then.
Should we tweet it now? Hold on. Let's go on to our website, which is weirefromtheinternet.com, for anyone who's wondering. This is a live brainstorming you're getting now. Is it on the website? Yes, it's on the website. I remembered to do that part. That bit's automated. It's supposed to automatically tweet as well, but it clearly didn't. So let's go on to the old Twitter now.
See, I hope people aren't finding this too boring because we're
last week.
We're really trying to diagnose what the hell's gone wrong with this show.
Listen to it, please.
Beyond the content.
We're recording again as I type. Not as I type. As I type, and then we'll put the link in there.
I'm pretty sure people love it when we do the whole you just going off on the computer.
There you go. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw us a bone, and I'm going to retweet it from my own account.
Retweet it from all the accounts.
Hold on then. Best thing from, remember that?
Yep, Thunderclap.
Geek Culture Radio, do you remember that one? Mature Gamer Podcast.
I still get to listen.
I'm not retweeting it from that one. That's my professional
that's fair
account.
enough.
People don't need to know that one exists. Yeah, there you go. I'll retweet it from all of them. Boom. We'll be back next week now because we'll get 10,000 downloads off the back of that.
Is that what we're doing now? You've thrown a hissy fit that it didn't get enough listens, and now if it does, you're going to turn back, even though you said we really are finishing this time.
If we get 1,000 downloads of last week's show and this week's show before recording day next week, so we want 1,000 downloads of each episode by next Friday, then we'll do an episode next week. So if you want the show to stick around, retweet, share, grab your aunt and uncle and tell them to listen to it. Don't just give them your phone, that won't count on the figures. Tell everyone you know you're trying to save a podcast. Save, we're from the internet. Retweet it. Email your old school friends. Go on Friends Reunited and tell all them. Does that still exist?
Probably.
Go on Friends Reunited. Tell everyone you went to primary school with. There's this cracking podcast. There's this really good episode that's basically the two hosts asking people to go on Friends Reunited and tell everyone about the podcast. It'll be like a magic. It'll be like when you stand in front of, there's a mirror in front of you and a mirror behind you, and it just goes on forever and ever and ever.
You realise we don't really want 1,000 people listening to this episode when...
I'd love that. 10,000 people listening to this episode.
Then they won't listen next week when it's good again.
It won't be good again. This is as good as it gets. If you're listening for the first time, this is the best episode we've ever done. This is interesting and funny.
Really?
Yeah. In a minute, I'm going to Google Apple Pencils again because I really enjoyed that last time.
But no, I didn't. It's quite funny actually. You texted me earlier. Sorry. Just kind of saying like this. We need to fix this. We need to do something. And I thought that's been niggling in the back of my mind for about a month now, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I kept thinking something's not right. Something's doing my head in. Something's annoying me. I need to sort something out. And when you were like, we need to sort out the show, I was like, yeah, okay, that is exactly the problem. There's a hole there. It needs sorting out.
So that hole was your gallbladder.
You cracked that in the text. It's not funny. I can't laugh to a joke you cracked to like 6
but everyone else is rolling around on the floor laughing. They're literally ruffling.
But, no, if we don't do this...
I like the way you paused to give them ruffle time. Yeah, that was good.
What are we going to do instead if no one listens next week? If this gets 250 listens instead of 1,000?
Then I want you to prove that you went on Friends Reunited. I want screenshots of you being on there. And if 100 people give screenshot evidence that they've contacted their old primary school teachers and asked them to listen, then we'll do an episode. Is that fair?
No.
Only primary school teachers. If anyone gets in touch with Mrs. Rowell, who taught me in reception and used to play the piano, probably dead now.
Mrs. Rowell?
No, Rowell. Not W. R-O-W-E-L-L. Tiny woman, face like a snail. But this was 25 years ago and she was ancient then. Bearing in mind I was 5, she was probably about 22. But at the time, she was ancient, so she's probably long dead. But if she's still alive, if you can get Mrs. Rowell to ask us to do another episode, we'll do it.
My teacher was called Mrs. Twin.
Was she?
I don't know.
Okay. I thought that was leading somewhere. I thought that was a gag, because that's not a real name.
It is.
Sure it wasn't Twine or...
No, Twin.
Was she?
Don't know.
Did you know what? You never asked.
Do you think if you taught a class full of kids...
Which I would never do.
No, in 1990...
Okay.
I think you'd remember all 30 of them now.
No. I don't remember the class I taught last thing on Friday.
Yeah, but a primary school teacher has them every day for a year. 2 years with my daughter's first teacher because she had them in year 1 and year 2.
Well, she probably remembers them then.
Yeah. But do you think if you taught the same 30 kids for an entire year...
Do you remember the names of everyone you worked with 10 years ago?
Where would I have been?
I don't know. I didn't know you. Probably.
How old would I have been? 20? Yeah.
10 years ago, I was working for Bristol and West as business development manager, and I was part of a team of maybe 8 or 9 people. I remember 3 of their names.
But the thing is as well, you probably have to say the kids' names a lot as a primary school teacher, whereas you wouldn't in an office. I don't really remember referring to any of my colleagues.
No, you're not very sociable, are you? I don't remember. That's quite scary, the amount of people I've worked with. I can still picture their faces, but can't remember their names. There was the fat Liverpudlian man.
Wasn't it 80?
No, he's what you're misunderstanding here is he's a big Liverpool fan.
Ah, okay.
But no, he's not actually Liverpudlian. He's from Leeds or somewhere, I think.
Okay. But yeah, I'm wondering now if Mrs. Twin, good old Mrs. Twin, she'd remember me.
Did she have a face like a snail?
No, she's a normal person.
In fact, it wasn't. I'm older than I thought. It wasn't 25 years ago Mrs. Rao would have been teaching me. It's closer to 30 years. Because I was 4.
So it would have been 25 years for me.
So, yeah, we're going back 30 years now. So even if she was, like, only 35 then, she's probably dead by now. People don't live to 65, do they? Who lives that
you've
long?
broken my brain a little bit there. Because, yeah, you're right. If Mrs. Twin was like 40 or 50...
She's probably dead.
Then she'd be about 80 now, or she'd be about 70 now.
If she was 40, she'd be 80 now. You've just given away your real age there. You've kept your showbiz age up for 6 years, and now you finally let people know that you're actually 50 years old.
I would have said she was probably 40. Well, she's probably really harsh, but so I'd say she was, yeah.
What was her sister like? How old was she? She's probably the same age.
When I was at secondary school, the teacher who must be dead by now, because she was ancient. A form tutor from secondary school is dead by now. Which is mad.
How do you know? Did you make sure they were dead?
I saw some, like, farewell Facebook group.
They're probably just retiring.
No, they died.
You checked. No, so what we're doing next, in the immediate short term anyway, assuming Weird from the Internet doesn't have a huge resurgence over the next week, now we've tweeted to that 5,000 followers that we've got and who just get spammed with my Football Manager messages. In the immediate short term, obviously I've got my new YouTube channel. I'm trying to convince you to start a YouTube channel as well. My goal is I want us to niche down onto gaming, because that if you had to pick one thing that we were really focused on for the next year, that we'd be happy to talk about a lot, that we'd be happy to do a lot, that we could force ourselves to do even when we didn't feel like it, there's really only 2 choices for me. And that's gaming and football. And
eating.
Yeah, but you can't create content on eating, I don't think. Does anyone want to watch my eating videos? Because I'll happily, that'll be my new Vine project.
You can start cooking and eating on there.
Yeah, but they're the only 2 things really, and football just annoys me, because people are wrong about it all the time. So, as much as I could talk about it until the cows come home, people aren't going to listen to me talk about it because 95% of football fans are wrong and will disagree with me. So the only thing really is gaming. We've done it for 4 years now. I think we're capable of talking about gaming a lot. We can create content around gaming. It's something we can get into YouTube with. It's something we can use our social media stuff with. It's we've got all these strings to our bow that we've dabbled in. I think we could do we could make a splash in the gaming scene.
Everyone's in gaming, that's the problem with that.
Yeah, but we're different, because we're old. I was because I've spent the last week trying to mingle with the Football Manager YouTubers, and the one thing I'm noticing immediately is they're all so much younger than I am. I'm the old man of the group who's just sort of marching in and asking where I can hang my winter coat and put my slippers, and where can I put my hat, because they're all youngsters in tracksuits. Well, they're probably not in tracksuits. One of them was wearing a suit the other day. But they're all like early to mid 20s. So we've got that mature gaming, slant on things where we're a little bit older. We appreciate that people don't have as much time to play games. They don't perhaps like the same kind of games they liked when they were younger. I wouldn't sit and watch hours and hours of video content about Call of Duty and FIFA, and that's massive on YouTube. But there's my little niches of games that I enjoy, that there isn't that much content out there, and we could get in there and make that content and get involved in those communities and start mingling a little bit and being a bit more sociable. Because the one thing I have noticed about YouTube as a whole is it's so much more friendly than podcasting. We mentioned it, I think we talked about this on Mature Gamer last week maybe, about how podcasters in general, and I'm sorry if you have a podcast, but podcasters are unfriendly, miserable sons of bitches. Because
some of them help us out, some of them have talked to us.
But the thing is, it's mostly the big ones who want to help us out.
Yeah.
There are when I was talking to someone, I was talking to Proton. We had a little chat on private messaging on Twitter about it, and I said how when we started Geek Culture Radio, we reached out to every gaming podcast you have ever heard of to ask if they wanted to be part of that, and 90% of them didn't even reply with, no thanks lads, not really interested, not our scene. We were just completely ignored by everybody. And we wanted to make this awesome place for us to share content, share listeners, and just basically all hang out and enjoy the fact that if we all work together and try and make each other better and share what we've done and share little tips like, who do you know at Sega who you can get games from? And, you found this awesome place where you found a load of listeners, share all that. And people aren't interested in podcasting. On YouTube, people are contacting me with how can I help messages before I even. That's
pretty cool.
And you just don't get that in podcasting. And we've spent years trying to be that in podcasting. That was the whole reason behind Geek Culture Radio, that we wanted to sort of help people move on and get on with it. We've always been keen to let people get involved and help them out.
Kind of got fed up with us, which is frustrating.
That was because we're really helpful at the start, and then we just kind of leave you to get on with it.
Yeah, and just spend a lot of time saying I never heard of them. But no, I'm only kidding there, because we gave a lot of publicity to people there. But no, it did. Yeah, it seemed like we helped a lot of people up, and then just didn't really get anywhere with it as a group. It didn't really work, but.
I want to hang out in a place where everyone wants to help everybody else, and YouTube seems to be that place so far. So we're going to give that a try. Realistically, it probably isn't going to be weird from the internet appearing over there, unless Rhett and Link decide to tell us unless they decide to start retweeting episodes for us or something and say, there's these two English lads who are just slightly better than we are. Let's share our listeners with them, our viewers. But no, we're going to target it in towards gaming stuff. Once we start to build a bit of a presence over there, we'll certainly do more stuff like this over there. Once people get to know us as the cheeky chappies that we are, our personalities will start to drift through as well, and we'll do YouTube our way. I think that's going to be the plan. But yeah, and then there's other irons in the fire as well. We've obviously got the 24-hour gaming thing that we're doing in a couple of weeks, which I don't think we've mentioned on this show.
Well, I don't know. I can't remember now. But yeah, 24 hours of podcasting for charity.
Yeah, Friday the 13th of November. It's going to be on Twitch. There's going to be 3 different Twitch streams, and there's going to, 4 if Pab's involved as well, which I think he said he is. So there's going to be, I'm going to be streaming Football Manager for 24 hours straight. You're going to be streaming FTL.
I think, although I'm now looking at doing it for that channel, as we discussed, I'm thinking at the moment that instead of trying to do it kind of like you are, where you're doing a day every day for forever, I'm just going to do like a season at a time, where once I die, that's the end of season 1, and then I'll do another season when
you're resurrected.
Yeah.
Once you die in real life this season, you're going to do an episode constantly until you die.
Part of me kind of thinks, well, if I complete it when I do the 24-hour show, then I won't want to go back to it for the daily one.
Well, I'll twist your arm and make you do Football Manager then. We'll do a Football Manager network game for 24 hours.
Would that mean that we're playing in the same universe?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
We could do that.
So that we clash with each other twice a season kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so. I've never played, in 20 years of playing Football Manager, I've never played a network game. But we could explore that, and we'll chat about this when we don't have a microphone in front of us.
Sounds good to me.
That might be a plan. But then there'll also be, and then Pab will be playing whatever he's playing as well, and they'll be on 3 different Twitch streams. You follow us on Twitter, you'll be able to find where to find those streams. But then there's going to be an extra one, which is going to be a webcam and microphone sat in the room that we're in. Just where, rather than watching our screens and listening to our individual feeds, you'll be able to just watch the whole process as it happens, and we'll be obviously doing other stuff as well. We might get some songs teed up like we did last time we did the 24-hour podcast. We've still got all them loaded onto Spreaker, I think, so we could
perform the songs.
Obviously, we did last time. Obviously, last time there was no camera, so you couldn't see it, but we'll mime to the songs. I'm all for that. We've got the costumes that we had last time, probably. And there'll be shenanigans.
That's one thing I like about YouTube. Me and my daughter sat on the sofa earlier watching a video of a girl called, I think her name's Nana Lou, and she seems reasonably big on there. But we watched a video of her basically miming along to I Won't Say I'm in Love from Hercules, sped up so that it was just squeaky. And midway through, when in Hercules, these statues come alive and start singing behind her to kind of make the song a two-person song. And when it got to that part in her song, it was just her dressed as a banana and an ice cream. also singing sped up and high pitched, and the 3 versions of her all sang the song together. And I just sat there thinking, YouTube is insane.
Yeah.
But that had so many hits, and yeah, YouTube is just ridiculous. That makes me think we'd be better suited there long term if we can get a following doing Football Manager and whatever else we do, and then we can start. Then finally, you can wear your ice cream suit that you bought and start dancing around.
I wear that when I'm selling ice creams. Okay. Are we talking about the suit where I am an ice cream, or the long white coat that I wear when I'm selling ice cream?
No, not
because obviously I have both costumes.
No, the ice cream one that you wear when you're your mascot.
So the ice cream one, not the ice cream man suit, which is that one I wear probably more often at the moment when I'm hanging around flogging my ice creams. So yeah, we've got all that going on. We're still writing a bit here and there, occasionally, maybe.
I keep meaning to go and do it. I've got lots of it going on in my head. My brain's still writing. I just need to go get a pen and paper and write it all down.
Computers are an option as well there.
Yeah, I know. I've got a whole thing in my head that I want to get on paper.
We've got a sitcom pilot that we've got to write by January. We probably need to press on with that. That's when the BBC comedy sitcom pilot season opens, and it's open season for submissions of pilots.
On paper, or did it have to be filmed? No,
just you send them the script. So we've got a script we could probably do a couple of scripts ready for January for a pilot episode. So that's something we might do as well. So there's going to be lots of stuff going on. And the thing I would say is just keep an eye on YouTube, because it's not, even if you're not interested in the boring games that we're playing at the moment, which we appreciate, you're probably not. There's going to be more than that appearing eventually. At the moment, we're just trying to, I'm experimenting with getting a bit of a foothold in there, working out how YouTube works.
That's it. It doesn't matter if we can't break it at this point, does it? Because we can fix it back up.
Exactly. So we're going to figure out YouTube, and this time next year, we're going to be YouTube kings, and we're going to wander around Eurogamer Expo in sunglasses. It's always, you're only allowed to do that if you've got over 1 million YouTube subscribers, I think. I think that's the rule.
By the time we get anywhere this time next year, there'll be some other site called Wangbo or something, and everyone will be on that.
Should we start it?
We should start Wangbo now and just become kings of Wangbo.
That could be a t-shirt. We'll have 2 t-shirts. 1, Rugby's Robbie Fowler. 2, Kings of Wangbo. Wangbo?
Wangbo. I've already forgotten what I said.
Let's see if Wangbo exists. Hold on, because you might just be promoting some kind of racist porn site. Wangbo, is that how we'd say it?
Yeah, that's about how I pictured it.
So Wangbo, Wangbo.com. No, Wangbo.com is available.
There's a YouTube channel though called
Yeah, but that's Wangbo Von. So Wangbo Von has one liked video from 2 years ago, so we won't worry about him. But yeah, Wangbo.com. Should we register that now? you know, whenever we get an idea, I like to register our website.
Go ahead and register.
Something horrible happened to me last month. You know, all these 1&1 websites that we signed up for on £1 for the first year, roughly this time last year.
Then it would come back at £25.
Yeah, you know, when the websites were down for a few days, it's because they tried to charge me for like 8 websites full price.
Jesus.
So I had to cancel a lot of them and shift some stuff around and work out what to do and rescue the ones that we wanted rescuing. And yeah, it was...
Any casualties I should be aware of?
Nothing that affected you. It was mainly weird stuff that I'd forgotten registered. But
such as?
You don't want to know. There's plenty of websites I register that you don't even find out about, but ridiculously, this one still exists. I don't know why. I don't know where I'm paying for that, because that wasn't on the cancellation list. I thought I'd cancelled that one years ago. I'm not even going to tell people what that is, because I haven't updated it for 2 years.
I remember my old boss having a look at that website and having a good old chuckle because you were advertising it to the hilt, but there was nothing on it.
Yeah, there's still nothing on it, but it still bloody exists. I don't understand. Let's make the perfect pumpkin pie. That's the top video on YouTube at the moment.
I said to my daughter earlier, do you think I can get good enough to be on YouTube a lot? And she said something like, nope. And then, no, her explanation was really confusing, and I can't remember what she said was the reason now. But I convinced her around to, eventually we'll crack it. But I think she was telling us we didn't have a makeup artist. Which I was just like, what are you trying to say?
My daughter's a makeup artist, nearly.
She was, we'd just been watching Christmas Face by Rhett and Link, and I think she was saying that we couldn't get the Christmas wrapping all over our faces like they did in their Christmas Face.
Challenge accepted. Yeah. But the general point of where all this was going, I know we've waffled on about ourselves for half an hour, the way we are wont to do. I know you all love it when we do this. These are always the most interesting episodes. Couple of things. Firstly, don't panic. Mature Gamer Podcast is going nowhere. That
That's a slogan and a half.
Yeah, that
We're
one.
going nowhere.
That one we're stuck with forever. There's too much hanging off that.
Yeah,
we can't.
Too many irons in the fire.
Yeah, we can't pull that one out without the whole enterprise crashing around our feet. So that has to carry on forever. And I still like that.
Yeah, no, I do. I missed it when I was off.
Bizarrely, that's still, I assume anyone listening to this listens to that show as well. And it is ridiculous because I regularly get messages saying, does anyone actually still listen? And the ridiculous thing is, yeah, loads of people still listen. I don't understand it. So many more people listen to that show than this one. And
that's why we keep trying new things to see if we can shift some of those people across. I know, and find
but there have been so many weeks over the last 6 months where this show has been infinitely better than that one. And
I wouldn't be surprised if there was several thousand bots out there that get a weekly bite of it together, and we don't have any way of knowing that.
Who cares? But yeah, the figures are still good on that one, so we're whores. While the figures are good, we're going nowhere. Mature gamers sticking around. But no, what we'd like from you guys is just let us know what you'd like to see us doing. Don't just say Karen, we're from the internet. There's like 8 of you who are still listening. We can't do that. We've got other stuff to do. I need a haircut.
Haircut. If they tell us to stop, will we?
I won't.
No, I won't either.
Imagine how bored you would be. Okay, you are the kind of person who's capable of sitting down and doing nothing.
No, I'd get fed up. I'm already fed up. I've not done very much in the past month and a half.
The whole reason this YouTube channel started is because you weren't available to do the podcast for a week, and I went mental. There's no podcast. I don't know what to do. And suddenly, I have a new thing going on, and I've written half a book.
I think it's ridiculous. The very first week, I was like, having a Friday night off seems ridiculous, but ever since then, I felt like I'm not...
Turn your phone on mute, you unprofessional swine. This is why no one listens anymore, because of people like you leaving their bloody phones on.
I just turned it off mute. Are you sure that wasn't you?
Well, it might have been. What's it to you? It's all right.
I don't know.
No, my phone's definitely on mute. So it's all you. It was you getting an email. Nobody heard it because we've got a good microphone now, but, whatever. But no, what we would like from you is we'd like you to tell us the sort of things you'd like to see us do on YouTube. And as much as we would like to go onto YouTube and just do We're From the Internet in front of the camera,
we need to get some...
Yeah, that's something that we could build up to doing a year, 18 months down the line once there's some kind of following. Whatever we do on there initially has to be really targeted content that people will actually be searching for and finding so we can build up an audience. Now, the first instinct is gaming, but if you think there's something else we could do on there that we'd be good at, please let us know, because we're not tied to gaming. We'll look outside of it.
I've got I can't think of the right word, but
bald head.
An incentive and a
personality
kind of
problem.
A goal for us. I move into my house February, March time.
When do I move in?
And I have...
It's getting later. It's been February all along now.
It's actually April, May time, but they moved it forward to February. I'm just being skeptical.
There's no house, is there?
They've told us February, but I'm just assuming the worst, because what they told us was until the roof goes on, they can't build in the rain.
What do you need a roof for?
So...
There's 30 days of snow this winter.
We'll see. Anyway, once it's built, I've already cleared...
It will be a waterproof house eventually, though, won't it?
Yeah, I've cleared it with my wife. I'm allowed to have the garage to turn into a recording studio. Much like we tried to with yours. What I'm thinking is you've got the lights... Anna's got the camera. I've got the action. That wasn't meant to be a gag until I
felt it coming. It was like, I imagine that's what labour pains feel like. Because the tension in my body as I felt that gag approaching.
My brain, when I said you got the lights and Anna's got the camera, I was like, my brain just went, there's a joke there, just go for it. Anyway, we've got all the kit. You're actually looking at getting a decent swanky webcam for the charity
thing. Will it look like
thing.
that? Because that came up on my Facebook the other day, today. That was my dining room 5 years ago. Look at that beautiful room.
I'm hoping it'll look a bit more geared towards being a recording studio than that studio.
But it's got a sofa and a TV.
What I'm thinking is, I've got my corner desk that is going nowhere, in my new house.
Mature gamer.
I'll stick that in the garage. Computer on there, webcam that we're buying for this charity event.
Okay, for the porn.
Connected to that. Can have your lights in the background, and we can stand in front of it or sit in front of it, depending on what we fancy doing.
Can we lie in front of it? arm in
probably.
arm.
But if we borrow the tripod camera or get our own one at some
I
point,
have a tripod.
you've also got some screens, haven't you? That you can put behind
Screens,
us.
studio lights. Again, that was from a harebrained scheme many years ago where I thought I was going to have an eBay business. So obviously the first thing you do when you're going to run an eBay business is you spend £400 on studio lighting and backdrops and light tents and all sorts. I still don't know what a light tent is, but it's basically big enough for you to sit in. And you put the lamps on either side of it, and it means the lighting is nicely diffused. I didn't have a camera. I did it all on my phone, but I had the proper lighting and a tent.
But that could all go up in our new recording studio that will be nice and clean and empty and
Is that where are we going to have a gym in the corner as well, so we can work out while we're in there?
we'll see how it goes.
I assume there's going to be a sitcom set in there, and it's just the whole sitcom is going to be based in your garage. I'll be in there working out every day to stay pumped, and you're going to be in there behind the bar that'll be in the other corner, and I'll finish working out and come over to you, and you'll make me a fruit smoothie from behind your bar, and then we'll
If we can make that work, we'll make it work. But
which corner's the bar going
I
to be
think the
in?
only problem I can think of so far with this whole plan is getting you and Anna to actually come at my garage and record a show.
Oh, that won't happen because of childcare stuff.
No, exactly.
So perhaps what we'll have to do, if we move into your house as well...
Yeah? Should move in next door like I told you to.
Don't want to. Can you imagine a scenario where I'm basically living down the same street as you and my ex-wife?
No, I'm miles away from your ex-wife.
There's nowhere on that estate that's miles away from anywhere. The whole thing is like a quarter of a mile square. You could spit from the top of one house onto any other house on there if you were a good spitter. A camel could spit from the roof of your house onto the
No,
roof
I'm
of our
about
house.
half a mile from her.
There is half a mile is here.
No. Well, yeah, I'm about half a mile from you and half a mile to her.
Nonsense.
You're about a mile from her.
Bloody not long enough, is it?
But yeah, if you lived there, they're building houses opposite mine, you could live in one of them.
Don't want to live opposite. Can we build a
further.
bridge? This could be the first starting point of when we're going to have our two towers opposite each other, the white
That's
tower
what I
and
was
the black
thinking the
tower.
other day when you're going to move opposite me. The houses opposite me will be bigger.
Interesting. So I'll have a bigger house than you. Seems like an opportunity to lord it over you a little bit.
Yeah.
Now I'm tempted. Now you're selling it to me in the right way.
And then we can build that bridge.
Yeah, and then get over it. Yeah.
I don't know what.
Build a bridge and get over it. That's what the young people say.
Do they really?
Yeah. It's a Hannah Montana thing. Do you not watch Hannah Montana?
I don't even know who that is.
I watched Scream Queens this week.
What is? I see that advertised. Has that got Thingy from Thingy in it? Glee.
Barely. She was in it for like one scene. It seems a lot like Glee.
Yeah,
and
it does.
It's a teen thing, but it's aware of how crap it is and plays up to it a little bit. And it's quite...
Stolen our bit.
Yeah, exactly. But, I don't know, it's absolutely terrible. But we watched the whole episode of it, and I took a vine of it that was you ordering a coffee.
Oh, I saw that. Was that from that?
Yeah, there was that pumpkin spice latte scene went on for about another minute as well. There was so many, I had to pick which pumpkin spice latte bit I was going to put on Vine and send to you.
I don't know whether I can ask in Starbucks for them to make it at a certain temperature.
Well, she burnt her mouth on it. It's a moral of the tale because it was too hot. But the man told her.
Did you say 200 degrees or something nonsense like that, which is impossible?
Yeah, well, no, he did it. He said that's too hot. You'll burn your mouth.
That's why I
then she
spoiled
had
the
a
point.
drink and she burnt her mouth, and then that was that. She threw it away and had the man fired. But don't worry because he used to stalk her, so that's why it was okay. It's that kind of show. I want to see if I can play the clip now because
you don't really need to play
I need
clips.
to play the clip. No, that's not it. That's something else entirely.
Isn't that you dancing?
No, this is Vine setting itself. I used you yesterday, Vine. Right, let's play the clip of Sheepdog ordering a pumpkin spice, ordering any coffee ever.
Trenta, no foam, 5-shot half cap, no foam, pumpkin spice latte with no foam at 210 degrees.
That's you ordering a coffee. It's what we hear. 210 degrees is what she asked for.
Right, that light needs to face away from me because it's blinding me.
Well, then I can't see anything now. It's a massive improvement.
So yeah, I forgot. We're talking about lattes all of a sudden. Where did that come from? Scream Queens. Where did that come from? February back.
I don't know. I've not been taking notes. You there, producer? What were we talking about?
We need a producer, don't we?
Well, it's a bit late now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyone who wants to be a producer for a show that's just finished, we'll put you in the credits for next week's episode.
How did we build up a massive load of people that help us out and do all these cool things and really support us, and how are we not utilising that now? We had it all
Because we're not swines.
4 years ago. I don't mean in that kind of way, I don't mean like, why aren't we going around going to people, do this? What I mean is that 4 years ago we were building everything really well, and it's like, what have we done different?
We got jobs. We were students.
Oh yeah, we didn't have jobs.
Yeah, we were at uni 2 days a week, 24 weeks of the year. So we had 300 days a year to do whatever we damn well pleased. Now, I only have 13 weeks holiday a year now. There's no spare time.
I did think the other day I got 3 days holiday left, and I thought I might book that and just blast out a book or a comic or something over those 3 days.
You're going to read a comic in 3 days. Good work.
No, make it. Well, plan it and then give it to someone else to make.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I've never heard you mention that before. It's a new one. Do you want, write me a comic. Write a comic about me. It'll be me in a garage where there's a gym in one corner and a bar in the other corner and a bald barman who makes me fruit smoothies.
Do you think I can make a game in 3 days? No, not even slightly.
I don't think you've not been able to make one in the last 5 years.
No, I mean, if I book 3 days off specifically for I'm getting up on that day and doing it.
You know what'll happen? You won't get up, and then you'll sleep in, then you'll get up and you'll have a nap, and then you'll sort of doze in front of the TV, and then you go to bed for 3 days.
Pretty much.
The life of Sheepdog the Sloth. That's what they call you.
Sloth, not sloth.
I say sloth.
You say it wrong.
It's not sloth. How is it sloth? Sloth. I've learnt to pronounce my THs recently. Have you noticed that? That's been my self-improvement bit
Can
for
you
the
say
last 6 months.
1999 yet?
No, I still maintain I say it correctly.
1999.
1999. That's how you say it. That's how much. How much?
How
Dear.
much?
I've been to Grantham today. That's why I'm talking.
Why
like
were
a
you
moron.
there?
Because there's a church there.
Why were you at church? Did you get married?
Didn't go in the church. Spent and had a look. It
Why?
was closed. Why not? What do you do on your holidays? I went to Grantham, had a look at a church, went to Asda and got a bag of cookies, ate 2.5 cookies. I had a little bit of a bacon sandwich.
I went to Woburn Safari Park the other day.
And then I had Mountain Dew, and then I drove home. I was testing my knee.
Were you on your own?
No. What kind of person goes and looks at the outside of a church on their own? It's pouring with rain. We walked around the perimeter of the church, then we came home.
How boring.
You're boring. What did you do today, Mr. Interesting? You sat at home doing bloody nothing.
I went to Woburn the other day, I told you that. Woburn Safari Park. Saw loads of animals.
What animals?
A rhino walked past my car, right in front of me. Saw lions.
There's an
Elephants.
interesting tale.
Yeah.
I think my story of the church was better than that. The only time I've ever been to a safari park, I lost my monkey toy that I got there. Did you lose a monkey toy?
That's not the only time you went. You've been to the same safari park with me.
Was that a safari park?
Yeah, unless you lost
I
your
thought that
monkey
was a
toy.
zoo.
No, that's a safari park.
Well, we went in a car.
Well, no, because that was the walking safari. The car
That's not a safari
The
park,
car
then.
safari was next to it. Did you not go in the car safari before or after the wedding?
We went there on a bus.
Yeah, but the next day and the day before, all guests could drive around it for free.
No one told me that.
I went round it
And
twice.
because I stayed in a hotel near where the wedding was, I was 40 miles away. So it would have been a little inconvenient anyway.
Over the course of that one-day wedding, I must have been to that zoo 4 or 5 times driving around the safari park.
Why didn't you tell me I could go to the safari park?
I don't know.
I'll tell you why I didn't do anything. That was when I booked 3 nights in a hotel or something and just sat the whole time playing poker in a hotel room in Watford.
Yes, I remember now.
I probably spent more time on location at that wedding than anyone else involved. I was down there about 48 hours in advance and didn't leave until 2 days afterwards. So I'd
Still
love
tell me
that.
about your poker winnings, yeah.
That was fantastic. I paid for my weekend just by playing poker in the hotel. It was fantastic. I should do that.
I was going to say, that would be a great YouTube.
That was a weird year. The year I was a single man. Or no, it was a couple of years, wasn't there? But yeah, that was a weird time when I'd just go away for the weekend and sit in a hotel playing poker by myself. Walked down to the shop and got myself a Twix at one point.
Why on earth did you go there 3 days in advance or whatever when you lived on your own?
Because I fancied getting away. I went on holiday. That was my holiday that year. I went to Watford.
Sat in a hotel.
Playing poker, yeah. It meant I could focus on my poker. There was no distractions.
God.
See, this is the sort of thing I do.
Yeah.
This is why I need supervision. I need people. This is why I need you lot to tell me what to do, because otherwise I do things like that. I am wont to strange behaviour.
Do you think we'll ever fall into one where we just make a boatload of money and...
And if we do, I'll get bored of it and jack it in 10 minutes in.
Yeah,
you know what I'm like.
do
You've
it.
met me.
10 minutes of a boatload of money would be fine. Pay off my house and then...
And then what? What are you doing? Are you scratching?
Shaking my leg at the excitement of thinking
I
about...
thought you were wagging your tail.
That's pretty much the same version of it. I've had a really bad toe for about a year.
Who cares?
And it fixed itself on its own the other day, and now it's completely fine. And ever since I've had restless leg, which is really bizarre.
Stop it! People can probably hear that. You're shaking the whole table.
It is odd.
It's weird. That's for
Can't help it. It just,
I can't think of anything to talk about for the last 10 minutes. I think we're going to call it a day. You know, why would we do a full hour in the last episode when we could only do 50 minutes? I think, should we say goodbye speeches? Bearing in mind we're going to record the other podcast in about 10 minutes time, so it's not really goodbye. It's farewell. The other thing I wanted to say, more from the internet. I really, really like more from the internet because it is really, really random. So we're moving that to Mature Gamer. That's not ending. We're from the internet's ending. More from the internet is carrying on. It might not be called more from the internet. It might still be called more from the internet.
We'll just call it that, and it won't be gaming related. It'll just be us.
It'll just be when we finished recording Mature Gamer every week. We'll keep the microphones on, and it'll be me, Anna, and Pab. Just having a chat about whatever we feel like for 10 or 15 minutes. And you'll still get that the same way as before. So anyone who gets the more from the internet emails, you'll still get those. We'll stick it on the Mature Gamer mailing list as well. It'll still be for the Patreon folk. So if you still need your random nonsense fix every week out of us, 10 or 15 minutes, just go over to, I think it's maturegamerpodcast.com/bonus, I want to say.
Yeah.
If you go on there, you can just sign up for that and you'll still get your more from the internet fix. Because that's my favourite part of this show now. I love more from the internet. We're going to do it
because I
tonight.
present it.
It might be that. We'll do, the pressure's off. We'll do that after Mature Gamer tonight and we'll send it out on both email lists. So there will be a more from the internet, but it won't be done straight after this show like it normally is. It'll be straight after that show.
Yeah, and otherwise, if you want any of our random nonsense, just follow us on Twitter, because that's basically where it all goes at the moment.
Yeah, although Sheepdog is tweeting a lot about his Football Manager videos at the moment. It's getting really...
You are getting excessive. I don't understand...
Do you know why?
Why?
Because every time I do it, I get another 10 subscribers. I don't understand.
You're addicted to getting them.
But I don't understand, because who, after seeing it for the 19th time, is thinking, you know what, I will subscribe to this channel.
Doesn't it take 28 times to make people do something?
I guess so, and that must be what's happening, because if it was me, I'd have unfollowed me by now, because it would be so annoying. I do promise, once this Football Manager giveaway has ended on the 12th of November, I will pack it in.
Oh God, that's ages away, Kev.
I know.
Can you just pack it in now?
No, because or until people stop following me off the back of it and subscribing. But I'm picking up Twitter followers, I'm picking up subscribers. People are...
I saw your vote got a lot of hits the other day, didn't it?
Yeah, that was you swine. I'm now manager of Spurs because of you.
You should be thankful.
No, it's rubbish. I shouldn't have, but I was tempted to leave them off the big six clubs and put Posh in their place. Just to put you in your place. I set that up so you could only vote once per IP. I don't know what game you were playing, you rascal.
I found that it said vote again, ? And when I clicked it, I then voted, and when I clicked vote, nothing happened. So I kept clicking it, trying to make something happen, and then I gave up, and then the page loaded, and I'd voted something like 27 times.
But it shouldn't have let you do that. I was trying to stop those kind of shenanigans.
And, but yeah, well, I don't think all 500 of them were me, because there was one point when it was just refreshing on its own while I was like, it said, oh, there's been 10 new votes.
So there's 2 Spurs fans out there.
At least.
I've found the Spurs fans. All of them.
Yeah. But it's had more hits than all your other videos put together.
It has. Imagine how many it would have had if it was a big club. A lot of fans.
To be fair, you're right. If it had Liverpool or Man U...
Well, no, actually, all the other big YouTube folk are doing Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United. So, being one of those second-tier clubs seems to be...
There you go. Just sorted you out.
It's given me a little niche. So, when you were trying to wind me up...
And you're doing your favour.
Made me a superstar.
There you go. That's what I'm here for.
That's your lot. I'm crying a little bit. I've got a tear in my eye. Sorry.
I'm kind of used to it. It's our October blues where we just get a bit depressed.
Did Best Thing From end in October?
I imagine so.
Sorry, Best Thing From's not ended. It's still officially on hiatus, if you recall.
Best Thing From season 1, 2 and 3, I think.
Was there a season 3?
I can't even remember anymore.
That might be what's coming back in video form later in the year. Did I say too much? That is happening, by the way.
What?
We're doing Best Thing From Adventures on video. Did I not tell you that?
But you didn't tell me when.
No, I don't know when.
All right, I knew we were doing it when.
I know it's Anna's coursework.
Yeah.
So we've got to do it. We're going to go and do some pretend promotional videos for Rutland Council, I think, because we're good at that. We're going to go to Melton Mowbray again.
Sounds good to me.
Best Thing From is coming back to Melton Mowbray sometime in 2016.
Sounds good to me.
See you never? No. We'll see you next week on Mature Gamer.
See you
boys
soon.
and girls. Toodle pip.
Bye.
And thank you very much for those of you who have supported us all the way through to the end.
Yep.
You're all mental, but awesome. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Bye.